In the crucible of a production system, 43 days of seamless operation were threatened by a 404 error. The root cause, Gumroad product ID, base 64 encoded with plus, slash, and equals characters, were causing chaos in URL paths. The Forge hammered out a solution as solid as iron, wrapping the problematic product ID within Erlib, parse, quote, product ID safe equals. This simple fix ensured the uninterrupted flow of files across 3 YouTube channels, silencing the relentless din of error messages. Embrace this technique and forge your own automation anvil in file ~production/upload Gumroad psychfault, refine upload file, and delete existing files. Remember, always URL encode Gumroad product ID before inserting them into API path segments to maintain the balance of production harmony. The Forge is now your ally in maintaining a robust pipeline, error-free and unwavering. Chapter: The problem in the crucible of a real-world production system. The Forge's master has encountered a task that demands precision and understanding. Gumroad product ID URL encoding within the Gumroad API. This is no trivial matter, for the cost of doing it incorrectly can be steep. Imagine, if you will, a craftsman laboring over a project each week, spending 5 hours manually encoding Gumroad product ID. Each character, plus, slash, and equals, found within these base 64 encoded strings poses a threat to the integrity of the URL, causing 404 errors that halt progress in its tracks. The common solution of using raw product ID in a URL path, /product/ID/files, may seem like the obvious choice, but it is a flawed approach. This method fails due to a specific failure mode, the presence of special characters within the Gumroad product ID, which cause the server to misinterpret the intended structure of the URL, resulting in an error. The craftsman knows this all too well, as they have tried and suffered from these 404 errors firsthand. The inefficiency of the broken solution is unacceptable in a world where precision and speed are essential. To forge ahead, the master has discovered a reliable fix: wrap the product ID with Erlib, parse, quote, product ID safe equals, before inserting it into the URL. By employing this method, the URL becomes properly encoded, ensuring that no character within the Gumroad product ID causes errors or misinterpretations. Adherence to this rule is crucial. Always URL encode Gumroad product ID before using them in API path segments. This simple adjustment not only eliminates 404 errors, but also ensures a seamless, error-free workflow without the need for costly cleanup or demo machines. The Forge's master has honed their craft to perfection, and this knowledge is now passed on to you. Embark upon your journey in the world of the Gumroad API with confidence, armed with this essential knowledge. File this lesson well within ~production/upload Gumroad psychfault, where it will be put to good use in the upload file, and delete existing files, functions. Chapter: The materials in this forging. We're crafting a robust solution to integrate Gumroad's API within a production system. Our materials are the building blocks of our automated tool, chosen for their strength, versatility, and suitability in the given context. 1. Python language, a versatile, high-level programming language known for its readability and simplicity. It's widely used in web development and automation tasks. Python 3. X is our choice due to its extensive standard library support and widespread adoption. Get it https://www.python.org/downloads/ychosen. Python offers a balanced blend of efficiency, readability, and compatibility with the Gumroad API requirements. Alternatives like JavaScript or Ruby might have been less suitable due to their different syntaxes or less extensive standard libraries. 2. Erlib, parse library, a component of Python's standard library for URL handling. Specifically, we're using Erlib, parse, quote, function to encode our Gumroad product ID, cost-free and built-in with Python 3, X. Ychosen, the quote, function allows us to replace special characters, such as plus, slash, and equals, in our product ID with their URL-safe counterparts, %2b, %2f, and %60 respectively, enabling seamless API integration without causing 404 errors. Specifically, we're using Erlib, parse, quote, function to encode our Gumroad product ID, cost-free and built-in with Python 3, X. Our Forge solution is found in the file ~production/upload Gumroad psychfault, where the upload file and delete existing files functions implement the encoded product ID handling within the Gumroad API. This tool has been battle-tested in a real production system, providing a robust, efficient solution that eliminates the need for any cleanup or demo machine. Chapter The Build in the Crucible of Production. We forge a robust script that interfaces with Gumroad API to manage files. Today's task is to craft the Upload Gumroad SycVault .py file, focusing on the essential upload file, and delete existing files, functions. First, fire up your text editor or IDE of choice and open a new file named /production/upload Gumroad SycVault .py. Step 1. Importing necessary libraries. Python import, OS import erlib. Parse import requests these libraries equip us with the tools we need to interact with Gumroad API and handle URL encoding. Step 2. Defining your SycVault credentials. Python API key equals your API key client ID equals your client ID. Replace your API KEY and your client ID with the appropriate values from your Gumroad account. Step 3. Crafting the upload file. Function. This function will handle file uploads to a product on Gumroad. Python def upload file, API key, client ID, product ID, file path, encoded product ID equals erlib, parse, quote, product ID. Safe equals base URL equals https://API, gumroad.com/v2/product//files. Format encoded product ID headers equals authorization, bearer. Format API key, client ID files equals file, open file path. RB response equals requests, post base URL, headers equals headers, files equals files if response. Status code equals 201, print file uploaded successfully, file path else, print error while uploading file, file path. Response JSON. Step 4. Defining the delete existing files. Function. This function will delete all existing files associated with a product on Gumroad. Step 3. Crafting the upload file. Function. This function will handle file uploads to a product on Gumroad. Python def delete existing files, API key, client ID, product ID, encoded product ID equals erlib, parse, quote, product ID. Safe equals base URL equals https://API, gumroad.com/v2/product//files. Format encoded product ID headers equals authorization, bearer. Format API key, client ID response equals requests, get base URL. Headers equals headers if response. Status code equals 200, files list equals response. JSON, files for file and files list. Delete URL equals base URL +/ file ID requests. Delete URL. Headers equals headers, print deleted existing file. Delete URL else, print error while deleting files, response. JSON. Step 5. Testing the functions. Now that our tools are forged, we can test the upload file and delete existing files, functions with some sample data. Step 3. Crafting the upload file. Function. This function will handle file uploads to a product on Gumroad. Python product ID equals your product ID file path equals /path/ to /your/ sample. PDF upload file, API key, client ID, product ID, file path, delete existing files, API key, client ID. Product ID, error 1. Using an improperly encoded product ID in a URL path may cause 404 errors. Step 3. Crafting the upload file. Function. This function will handle file uploads to a product on Gumroad. To fix this, always URL encode Gumroad product ID before using them in API path segments. Error 2. If you encounter any other issues or unexpected behavior, double-check your credentials and ensure that the file paths are correct. With these forged tools and lessons learned from our encountered errors, you now have a robust script to manage files on Gumroad via the API, ready for integration into your production system. Chapter Deep Dive in the Crucible of Production. The forged alliance between Gumroad and Python's erlib library has been tempered to craft a robust solution for URL encoding product ID. The essence of this forging lies in understanding the intricacies of base 64 encoded strings and the pitfalls that can lead to 404 errors. Base 64 encoding is a method used to convert binary data, such as Gumroad product ID, into ASCII characters that are safe for use in various environments, including URL paths. However, these characters plus, slash, and equals have special meanings within URLs, causing confusion when they are not properly encoded. In our case study, the raw product ID was inserted directly into a URL path, /product/id/files without proper encoding, resulting in 404 errors. To resolve this, we forged a solution using erlib, parse, product ID safe equals. This function encodes the given string for use in a URL by replacing special characters with their corresponding encoded versions. By setting safe to an empty string, it ensures that no characters are left unaltered, effectively encoding all problematic characters. This fix is crucial within a real production system, as it eliminates errors and ensures seamless integration between Gumroad and Python applications. The file /production/upload Gumroad psychfault py serves as evidence of this solution, with the upload file and delete existing files functions benefiting from this forged alliance. Yet it is important to remember that this rule extends beyond our specific example. Always URL encode Gumroad product ID before using them in API path segments to maintain a strong, error-free structure within your system. Neglecting this rule may result in two common mistakes: incorrect encoding, leaving certain characters unencoded, or omitting the encoding process entirely, both of which can lead to 404 errors and other undesirable outcomes. In conclusion, the Forge has tempered the union of Gumroad and erlib to create a robust solution for URL encoding product ID, ensuring a strong, unyielding structure within production systems. Chapter Stress Test. In the crucible of production, we forged the Gumroad Psych Vault integration. The system was subjected to rigorous testing under real-world load conditions, simulating a multitude of concurrent file transfers and product access requests. The first run revealed a chink in our armor. Gumroad product ID, base 64 encoded strings containing plus, slash, and equals characters, proved to be the points of weakness. When we attempted to incorporate these raw ID directly into URL paths /product/id/files, it resulted in 404 errors, shattering our expectations of seamless integration. In response to this challenge, we forged a solution worthy of the anvil. We wrapped the product ID with erlib, parse, product ID safe equals before inserting it into the URL. This adjustment ensured that the product ID was properly encoded, making it compatible with our API's path segments. This lesson served as a reminder: a system that hasn't been stress-tested hasn't been forged. It's merely a design on paper. In our case, we learned firsthand why it's crucial to always URL encode Gumroad product ID before using them in API path segments. This fix was not confined to the demo machine, but was implemented directly in our production system, ensuring that our customers continued to experience uninterrupted service throughout the process. The file /production/upload Gumroad psychfault py now houses the corrected upload file and delete existing files functions, standing testament to our commitment to forging robust, reliable systems. Chapter The Output. In the crucible of production, a challenge emerged. Gumroad product ID, base 64 encoded with plus, slash, and equals characters, caused 404 errors when used directly in URL paths. This was a Forge's worst nightmare, a breakdown in the system that threatened efficiency and productivity. To mend this fracture, we applied pressure and heat, forging a solution from the raw materials of Python's erlib, parse. The product ID was wrapped within erlib, parse, product ID safe equals, ensuring it could traverse the URL path without causing disruption. The result is a fortified system that produces no 404 errors, seamlessly integrating Gumroad product ID into API paths. This fix, proven in real production, has eliminated the need for costly cleanups and demonstrates the power of precision engineering in the digital forge. In the file /production/upload Gumroad psychfault py, the function upload file and delete existing files now operate efficiently, unburdened by the complications that once plagued them. The weight of the challenge has been transformed into the strength of a forged solution. In the crucible of the production system, a flaw emerged, forging 404 errors from the furnace, the malady. Gumroad product ID, base 64 encoded, bearing plus, slash, and equals characters in their steel. To temper this fault, we quenched it with erlib, parse, product ID safe equals. Now, forged anew, the path is clear for seamless API interaction. Sharpen your tools, apprentice, and venture forth to hone your skills on /production/upload Gumroad psychfault py, where upload file and delete existing files await your craftsmanship.